Yeah. Mr. fucking professional over here. Yeah? Fucking professional. Mr. fucking professional. Hey. You see some of the fucking bullshit that I found. You guys have got a fucking trip. Alright. Fucking Mr. Professional happening here, fucking. Check this shit out. I want to do the bullshit breakdown. Check this shit out. You guys are gonna trip with some of the shit that's going on. I'm serious. This is some fucking trippy shit, man. Fucking trippy shit. Check this out. Alright. Training war, man. Alright. Some fucking trippy shit, man. Alright. Alright. Let's go into a few things. First, this chick, Globy, Jamari, whatever her name is. Personally, I think she's sexy as fuck, yeah? Alright, she's sexy as fuck. You got, I just subscribe to her. I don't fucking agree with it, hardly anything what she says, but this shit. I actually commented it, but she's got a fucking wiring crossed in her brain, man.
This episode of Diversity is Our Strength. Here's a message from a Muslim guy to other Muslims about Christmas.
This is a reminder that celebrating Christmas is not halal, putting up a Christmas tree is not halal, wishing people a happy Christmas or a Merry Christmas is not halal.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Wishing you all the best in the new year.
Alright, straight up. That's a pretty fucking shit depiction. Alright, let me break it down. Break it down. Let me break it down. First of all, as a Muslim, I went to evangelistic church. It's over there near Herstal swimming pools, yeah? And I went to listen to a lecture there. Was it there? Was it that lecture? Hold on. Don't quote me on that. Shit, it was a while ago. What was it? Don't quote me on where. It could have been another church that I went. But either way, I remember it was an evangelistic church. I don't know if that lecture was about something else or about this subject. But sometimes, if I know that there's a lecture happening, I don't care what religion it is. I'm going to go and listen to the point of view and see what's going on. You know, I'm not prejudiced. I'm not racist. Sometimes I'm a little bit biased to one sort of type of culture, and I already explained that because of the laws and legislation there. They're the only country that has those laws, so I'm biased towards that people from that region until I suss them out, and if I suss them out and they're good, yeah, alright, beautiful. But like I said, I've already spoken about that, so I'm not going to go into that again. But I think it was at the Hurstville, like where the swimming pools is, the indoor pools there. Around the corner, there's a factory there, and there's a church there. This is ages ago, yeah. And I went to listen to a lecture. I'm pretty sure it was that location, was either that one, or it was the Belmore one here at the PCYC, or it could have been in the city, Crown Street, or could have been the one up the road here. I can't remember which one it was. Because sometimes, like I said, there's a lecture happening, and I want to go listen to the lecture to see what their point of view is. Alright? A Christian's point of view. And the lecture was about Christmas and Santa Claus and this and that and blah 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 blah. Alright? So this Muslim brother, he's saying it's haram to get engaged in any of the Christmas festivities, this, that, blah blah blah, what have you. Alright. I'm telling you guys now, a pastor said the exact same thing. A Christian pastor said the exact same thing in his own way, but like same story. It's bad too. First of all, Isa, Jesus, was born about 3 weeks or something before this actual date that's celebrated. First of all. So in other words, the day that people are celebrating as Isa's date of birth is not accurate. This is what the pastor was saying. This doesn't describe this in Islam. It just says it's haram to practice, to celebrate anything unless you're celebrating Eid, and that's it. 2 times a year. We're only allowed to celebrate 2 times a year. Eid. After Ramadan, Eid, after fasting, and after Hajj, fasting. It's nothing to do with Christmas celebrations, is that. It's just, as a good Muslim, you're only supposed to celebrate 2 times a year, and that's the 2 times of Eid. That's it. It's not bagging Christianity or this, that's got nothing to do with that. It's just a mere fact, you can only celebrate 2 times a year on Eid. That's it. No New Year's, no birthdays, no this, no that, no nothing. 2 Eids, that's it. Alright, now let me further that conversation. How people spin things in their own narrative I don't think the lady's sexy as fuck, but she's trying to bag people in Islam. Alright. Without giving you the proper content. I was at this lecture, I'm pretty sure it was at the Hersel place, like I said. And the pastor was saying something like, Christmas, the Santa Claus thing, was some sort of paganistic ritual and some sort of paganistic false god that the church adopted that day to cater to the pagans. Yeah? But until that happened, no one was celebrating Santa Claus and Christmas and all that. They celebrated the birth of Isa, Jesus, but it was like 3 or 4 weeks before this date. They just changed the date and incorporated Santa Claus to make the pagans happy, basically. The church did that. This is what a pastor is saying. Now, I haven't done all the research, but I'm pretty sure an evangelistic pastor that's high ranking knows what the fuck he's talking about. Yeah? Let's be honest about it. He's got to know a thing or two. If that's what the lecture was about, he would have done his research. So, I don't see somebody in the Christian faith getting up and saying what I'm saying to you now, and it not being accurate without corresponding evidence. Alright? The pastor said, first of all, the date's wrong. Isa was born three weeks before this date, and Santa Claus was some sort of paganistic bullshit god that they had back in the day, and that's why they changed the date and they incorporated it as one big festival to make everybody happy. Alright? So, what I'm saying is, you think you're celebrating Isa? You think you're celebrating Jesus? Yeah or no? You're being a pagan. Basically. That's what I'm telling you. You're actually being a pagan. You're not being a Christian, you're being a pagan. Now that's what a pastor said. basically it's wrong to engage in any of these celebrations, this, that, blah, blah, blah. If you want to celebrate anything, if you want to celebrate Jesus' birth, you can do it 3 weeks, get the date right, and do a little thing on your own or something, you know, like, but don't engage in this whole Santa Claus bullshit. Because it's actually a paganistic ritual. A false paganistic god. That's a pastor saying, do not engage in this behavior. Yeah? But as a Muslim, if you say, oh, mate, what are you saying, mate? You know, you can't say that. That's fucking outrageous. You know, because you're Muslim, you can't say that. Because, you know, what do you think this is? Maybe if you're a Christian or Jew and you said the same thing, it's alright. But if you're Muslim, you say, oh, man, hang on. That's illegal. Like, what do you think this is? Can't say that. Boy, you badass fucking Muslim bastard. Who the fuck you are? What the fuck, man? I heard people in the Jewish community say the same thing. You shouldn't, it's wrong to be celebrating this day, but anyway, I love everybody's religion. I love everybody's people, don't get me wrong. But come on, guys. When a Muslim says something, he's coughing up the ass. But if anyone else says it, it's alright. How the fuck does that work? Just saying. The chick's hot as fuck. 6 years, but fuck, man. Anyway. So this is why in Islam it says you can learn from anyone and don't exclude anybody's religion. I'm going to post this thing here. Alright, let's get to the next thing. The Topher field. Like I said, he's not a guy that I would hang around with. He's not a guy that I hang around with, but fuck, he makes a very good point.
Did New South Wales just ban water pistols? It sounds crazy, right? But stick with me because I think they did. The problem with gun laws is they're usually written by people who know very little about guns, and it is almost impossible to actually define what a gun is without capturing a bunch of things that a gun isn't. And they know that that's a problem, which is why they do have some exceptions and exemptions in the law. More on that in a minute. But with the latest update to the New South Wales gun laws containing if they could be in breach.
These things that are water pistols, or you know the things that spray for the fucking for the what you call it, insects and stuff like that. They actually have problems bringing them into
Australia. Of the law, if they do. So this isn't just in Section 4 of the Firearms Act in New South Wales, a firearm is defined as firearm means a gun or other weapon that is, or at any time was, capable of propelling a projectile by means of an explosive and includes a blank fire firearm or an air gun, but does not include a paintball marker within the meaning of the Paintball Act 2018 or anything declared by the regulations not to be a firearm. We'll get to those exceptions and the things declared not to be a firearm in just a minute. It includes an object that is forcibly propelled.
This is
Explosion, but it includes things that use just compressed air, clear as mud, which propel a projectile, but not by means. So we've passed the first test, but there is more. It has to be capable of propelling that projectile by means of an explosive, which on its own would mean that water pistols are not covered by this act, and they are not a gun. Except that there's still more, because it includes a blank fire firearm, which is a firearm that doesn't fire any projectile at all.
So and that's like a starter pistol. You know, like if you're on a track, you're a track runner, a marathon runner, whatever, you're a runner, isn't there a pistol that goes poof, that fires a blank to start off the race? So in other words, now under the new law, the new update, starter pistols aren't allowed because they're firing blanks. How the fuck does that make sense? When it can't do nothing to no one.
Air guns which propel a projectile, but not by means of explosives. So the definition of a gun is that it has to fire a projectile, but it does also include things that don't fire projectiles, and it has to use an explosion, but it includes things that use just compressed air. Clear as mud. I think we can say that water pistols that just use trigger pressure to squeeze water out are probably safe from this legislation because they're not using compressed air. They're not an air gun. But things like super soakers, well, they fire a projectile using air pressure, so we're back to water pistols being illegal. Except that there's an exemption for toys. Huzzah, we're saved. Aren't we? Well, actually, no. If anything, it just gets messier at this point, and there are a lot of water...
I'm gonna post that, like, what the fuck, man? What?
Report my work by Brian Nick.
You gotta admit, but
Here's
she's
an
sexy as
episode
fuck.
of-
She's sexy. She's a sexy lady. I gotta admit.
Isn't it?
I wanted to get her brain all fucked up, but she's a sexy
Why are
lady.
men today becoming less and less willing to take the initiative to pursue?
This is what's happening in Korea. I like Korea.
Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today for all Asian dilemmas.
Why are men today becoming less and less willing to take the initiative to pursue?
I want to post this as well. You guys gotta listen to the long version.
If you ask this question in China, you'll get several different answers. But in the center of the universe, South Korea,
What? South Korea is not the center of the universe.
then will give you just one sentence. I don't want to go to jail. The Korean
So the Me Too has really gotten into the Korea government, hasn't it?
National Police Agency announced a
What? Listen to how fucked up feminism's taking it.
they started acting accordingly.
Feminism. Destroying Korea too.
When these women discovered they were pregnant with a boy, they chose not to carry the pregnancy to term, using this non-confrontational method to fight against Korean men. If Japanese men win,
You literally just killed a Korean newborn because you didn't want to confront with what?
this war simply by adopting a Zen-like attitude and giving up on the fight. Then how are Korean men dealing with this battle? Hold the like button for 3 seconds. Today we're going to talk about how feminism in South Korea spun out of control and became so
We
extreme.
gotta listen to this.
I think it got
What's happening here?
In fact, in the beginning, the development of feminism in
Fucking
Japan
happening
and
here.
Korea followed the same pattern. Between 1960 and 1990, South Korea's economy soared, and that growth brought urbanization, fashion, progressiveness, and free love.
Oh,
This new
that was
mindset
good.
completely
That's
captivated
what
the
happened
younger
here.
generation.
Everywhere
And,
else.
at first, Korean women had a simple desire to be independent women of a new era, cutting ties with old traditions. It
Alright.
was a good idea. A lot of people supported it,
Beautiful.
both men and women. There is nothing wrong with wanting to liberate your mind. But then came the problem. When the economy crashes and the conflict between men and women worsens, what happens? South Korea went through the exact same thing Japan did. The 1997 Asian financial crisis left 1.3 million Koreans unemployed, and everyone was forced into extreme hyper-competition. As we saw before, women simply cannot outperform men in an environment of brutal, relentless competition.
This is true. Like, this is why men were built for this. Men lasted all of this time.
And that's why when I passed, I put up the other day that women's rights is all good and all these laws are good, don't get me wrong, but if men don't fucking police it, the women have no hope of policing it. Like in Arab countries, some Arab countries, women, they don't have certain rights like men, and they can't do nothing about it, even though there's like 7 to 6 or something women to 1 man. How the fuck are they going to enforce the law and the legislation when 85% of law enforcement is men or something like that? Don't quote me on the exact precise number. It could be a decimal out or some shit, but fuck. About 85% of police are men. Military men. So it's all right to come up with all these suggestions, but that's all they are, suggestions, unless a man actually enforces it. And how do you make rules and regulations stick? if somebody enforces it. So in other words, if men ain't enforcing this feminism movement, it won't exist. Simple. And here's clear proof.
For most of their life, because men were built for it. Women are not built for massive competition constantly throughout their life like this.
So in 1999, in an attempt to increase their competitiveness in the job market, Korean feminists filed a lawsuit against military veterans, demanding the removal of the 5% hiring bonus given to men who completed mandatory service. They claimed it violated the constitution and discriminated against women. But everyone in Korea knows that almost every healthy man serves for 2 years. That bonus is well deserved.
Wow, so they got so upset that men had to volunteer for 2 years in the military, which is true.
And they don't get paid for they don't get paid for their service for 2 years, but everyone's got the feminists had a problem that they will get 5% levy for doing that once they got into the workforce. Well then how about this? All women should be conscripted as well for military service then. And give them a 5%.
No, in Korea, all men of age, I think once they're hit like 20, 21 or so, they have to serve. They have to serve at least 2 years in the Korean military.
Sort of like Greece.
So they're trying to say because they serve in that Korean military, they don't deserve a bonus. What? Like, this is just ridiculousness.
The only way to fix that problem, is, okay, well then women have to do 2 years of military service too, whether they like it or not. Simple. Fix the problem. Instead of removing the 5%, the government should have said all women must do 2 years service too.
5% bonus by putting their lives on the line and protecting their country and training just in case something happens to their country. And women are just like, we don't care.
At this point, people began to realize the Korean feminist movement was starting to go off course.
Correct.
But up to this point, the conflict was still limited to the job market, nothing catastrophic, except that the seemingly impossible demand, removing the military bonus, was approved in the year 2000.
What?
Then, in 2001, when China entered the WTO and its economy began skyrocketing, Korea's key industries came under pressure, further worsening the Korean job market. And with the 2008 financial crisis, unemployment became devastating. Internal competition became unbearable. Just like in Japan, Korean women lost badly in the professional field. But unlike Japanese women, Korean women are far more aggressive when it comes to verbal combat. So, in 2009, an all-out confrontation between both sides exploded. At the time, there was a TV show called The Chatter Beauties. This show ignited the fury of Korean men. One of the guests said, "Any man under 1.8 m, 5 feet 11 inches, is a loser." That sentence hit with the force of a Sarajevo assassination, a spark that
Anyway.
Ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
actually did it. After all, their slogan had already been declared, "Eliminate all Korean men." To what extent did this go? They rode trains holding knives pointed at men. They took
That's crazy. Again.
Anyway, this is the
fasting, always sending messages to women. That's harassment. And that's where the three
attempts.
rule was born. The men responded, "All right, then I won't message anymore." Feminists. Korean men aren't considerate at all in relationships.
Well, so 3 attempts rule is if you say, oh, you want to come to dinner with me tonight, blah blah blah, and she says no, that's 1 attempt. You want to go to movies or something with me, that's 2nd attempt if she says no. You want to date me, that's third attempt, no. But if you ask her again, 4th attempt, that's you're going to jail for that. Well, usually the gentleman's agreement is three times. Like, can I have your number? No, that's sugar. Yeah, but we're hitting it. You want to catch up later on? Give me your number. You want? No. Or you want to go hang out and this that blah blah. Give me your number. No. All right, that's it. Done. As a gentleman, you say after the 3rd strike, you say, all right, I'll get the picture. Don't worry. But using this law, you can ask her to go for dinner this year, and 3 years later you see her and say, oh, are you from that blah, blah, blah. You want to hang out, go get something to eat, get a drink? No, that's second strike. You see her another couple of years down the track and say, hey, when you at that party, blah, 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 blah. Ask you for a drink, you said, no, it's cheap. You want to get one after eating? No. If you ask again, you're going to jail. No matter what time frame.
Men. Okay. Then let's break up. There are many examples like this.
See
The
that?
masculinists began to adopt the logic of radical feminism completely,
That's
turning
it.
everything back on them.
The masculines.
Okay.
That's what
Then
they
let's
call us
break
now.
up. There are many examples like this. The masculinists began to adopt the logic of radical feminism completely,
That's it.
turning everything back on them.
That's
Feminists said.
That's what the goose goes with the game, right?
Uno reverso.
TV shows you can't make jokes about women, that's discrimination. Men replied, alright, then you can't make jokes about men either. Otherwise, that's discrimination against men.
Alright, that's fair
At
enough.
first,
See, over there, the men actually really fought back. And it was like, you want to play this game? We're going to play
That's
the exact same
called
game.
equitable retaliation. Fuck equitable retaliation. What
not
is it?
open space, you don't let women enter companies. But when they saw a company with fewer women than men, they said, look at this, men are such losers. So masculinists decided to lay a
Right? Can never win. And then we let
Can't
them,
win.
you know, take a company. And
Too many
oh,
men,
we're
not enough
masculine
women.
enough. But if we don't let them join
Big headed
company,
men.
oh, we're
Too many women, not
misogynists.
enough men.
out. If we're going to be
Don't come
accepted
in.
anyway, we might as well ensure men get more benefits.
Correct.
You say I discriminate against women, then now
Sure.
I'll really discriminate.
There you
The
go.
feminists said, Korean men are disgusting, always sending messages to women. That's harassment. And that's where the 3 attempts rule was born. The men responded, alright, then I won't message anymore. Feminists. Korean men aren't considerate at all in relationships. Men. Okay, then let's break up. There are many examples like this. The masculinists began to adopt the logic of radical feminism completely, turning
Well,
everything back on
That's
them.
what needs to
Feminists
be done.
said, on
Flip the script.
Flip the
Uno
script.
reverso.
TV shows you can't make jokes about women, that's discrimination. Men replied, alright, then you can't make jokes about men either.
Equitable
Otherwise,
retaliation
that's
is the best way.
discrimination against men. At first,
See, over there, the
What's
men
good for me
actually
is good
really
for
fought
you.
back. And it was like, you want to play this game? We're going to play
Eye
it.
for an eye,
That's
tooth for a
back.
tooth.
Where in the United States, men were just too nice. Who let
Yeah, couple up your ass, fuck that.
feminists saw men complying with everything and thought they had completely won.
Check
But
this
over
shit out.
time, they noticed something felt wrong. For example, in variety shows, what was fun precisely because of the playful banter suddenly became stiff, dull, and uninteresting.
Of course
Women
not.
began to feel bored, but the men had already stopped watching. And in the job market, men openly admitted, yes, we are discriminating. We'll compete to the maximum. And women's difficulty in
You can't beat me? Sorry.
finding jobs increased again. The 3 attempts rule also became one of the major causes of Korea's population decline. In the radical feminist narrative, excellent women complained they received too many messages. Lower income women just wished men were a bit more attentive. And this rule made Korean men stop investing any effort in pursuing someone.
Yeah, why would you? You know, you like someone, they say no, and now you have 2 more attempts left. I'm like, do I really want to deal with this?
Today, many already approach directly asking, want to make a baby together? If the
In
woman
other words,
says,
guys are just going up to chicks and they'll go, you want to fuck or what? You want to bang? And that's it.
they move on to the next. If you ask why, they answer, I'm respecting women. And so
That's all.
Oh.
Do you want to bang? Because fucking, I ain't got 3 shots at this, like fucking, you know, like, do you want to fucking bang? Seriously. I want to play out, yeah. Do you want to get played out? Yes or no? No, alright, I understand, see you later. What do you mean? Nah, mate. I respect you as a woman. I respect your choices. You decline, no problem. Like you say, there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's a big population, isn't there? You knock me back, see you later, no problems.
Oh,
I'm respecting you
told
as
us
a
to
woman, fuck.
respect you, and if you said no, for us to move on, so we move on.
See you
Since Korean
later.
men only want young and beautiful women, everyone's goals became the same. This strategy of using feminism against itself ended up creating internal splits among women.
That's
Many
fine.
women realized this and began opposing the rule. They said, 3 times is too little. You can't feel any romance. You can't see if the guy actually cares. But the masculinists countered, you're being selfish.
That's right,
Only
big
thinking
son.
about yourself.
Right?
Just thinking about yourself,
You said
man.
you want 3, you say it's too little, but we think it's already a lot. I think
You
1
wanted
step
it.
is
That's
already
what
too
you
much.
wanted.
Have you considered the suffering of women who get
No.
harassed?
Yeah, what about the arrest women's out there fucking, huh? Are you considering yourself? You wanted the rule? Well, alright, you got the rule. That's all.
Curious situation occurred. Grassroots feminists wanted to revoke the rule they themselves had proposed.
Nah, mate, there's no revoking any of the rules, mate. We have to be fair. What do you think? I want to be fucking against feminismness or some shit? Fuck no. You wanted to, you don't want to get arrested by men. You're thinking of yourself. That's not good.
Feminists wanted to keep it. And the
Okay.
masculinists said, we support not harassing women. We
Yeah,
respect women.
that was
Additionally,
another one.
feminists said, marriage is oppression for women.
Yep.
Okay.
Men. Okay,
Okay.
then I won't marry.
That's not easy.
Childbirth oppresses
Yep, that is the case that's going.
That's all. Marriage is a precious to women, you know, like if she has to cook and clean for her husband and not go to work and look after kids while he goes to work, well, that's oppression. That's fucked up, man. Don't like fuck. Don't get married. What did I say before? Women want to be strong and independent women, and it's you got to be a strong and independent man. So you want to spend time together, you go to her place or she comes to your place, but make sure she's got her own place because you don't want to fucking take her independence away from her, man. Guys, think about it. Don't be harassing these women, fucking.
God, women are just like, oh, you oppress us when we're okay, then
Don't want to be the oppressions and shit, fuck.
we just won't date you or marry you. We won't
No oppressions, fucking. You understand?
oppress you. We're just
See how my logic is logic?
gonna stay alone and fill up our wallets
You gotta
and
know.
enjoy our hot
I fucking know, Wayne. You think I didn't know? I fucking know.
bees and hang out with the
oppresses
boys.
women. Men. Alright, then I'll date without marrying and have no children.
Yeah, that's all.
Marriage oppresses women.
Alright, we don't want to be oppressions and shit.
Men. Perfect. I completely support that.
Supported.
They fought radical feminism with radical feminist logic. In
I love it.
the end, feminists realized that, in the job market, they couldn't outperform men.
No,
In other issues, they also couldn't beat the male strategy.
no.
And Korean men simply copied Japanese men. No marriage, no dating, no children. Everyone lives their own life.
That's all.
The punch
Which is a bad thing, by the way. Yes, it's great.
Which goes back to the last thing that I posted about the Area 25 or something with all the lab mice. Remember, I just posted it the other day. The interview, how a scientist created an environment for rats that had an abundance of everything, and what's happening in society now. That's what was happening within the lab in that tube that he made up for these rats. They had no diseases, no this, no that. And what happened was you had the some rats just attacked others for no reason. You had other rats that were withdrawing from the rat society. You had the other ones that were called the beautiful ones that just kept grooming themselves all day, making themselves look pretty, and didn't have offspring, didn't have this, that. That's basically what's happening here. The pretty men are getting all prettied up, but they're not having offspring, and the pretty women are getting all prettied up, but they're not having any offspring. That's basically what's happening in Korea now. They're becoming the pretty ones.
Men are protecting themselves and living good lives. Society's dying. Japan.
I'll repost that again.
All our anime is going to disappear soon, which is sadness, by the way. Sadness.
Punches thrown by feminists started hitting the air. In the end, all rights must pass the test of productivity. When the feminist movement cannot secure rights through rhetoric alone, it means the game of radical feminism in Korea is reaching its end. Of course, the war between masculinists and feminists also involves Korean politics, so it's better not to go too deep into that.
The truth is that after so many years of ideological war, verbal attacks, absurd regulations, and radical movements, South Korea ended up showing us a very simple and, at the same time, very uncomfortable picture of what happens when the pursuit of equality stops being about equality and turns into a fight for advantage. It's almost poetic, if it weren't so tragic.
True.
Because deep down, when Korean men decided to use magic against magic, they weren't trying to destroy radical feminism. They were just tired.
Yeah, we were just protecting ourselves. That's the logic you guys want to use. We're just going to use the exact same logic back.
Tired of being treated as villains for simply existing.
That's right.
Tired of trying to please people who had already condemned them in advance. Tired of living under rules that turn even the smallest gesture into a potential crime.
That's right.
Their response was simply to stop. Stop romanticizing, stop chasing, stop getting involved.
Stop.
And when one side of the equation steps out, the entire structure collapses on its own.
That's all.
And the most curious or ironic part is that this dynamic is far from being exclusive to Korea.
That's
If you
right.
look closely, the West is following an eerily similar script.
That's all.
There, the narrative also started with a legitimate demand for rights,
Yeah.
respect, and opportunities. And little by little, it shifted into a culture of hostility, moral competition,
Yep.
and a cold war between genders.
That's all.
But now it's moral superiority.
There too, we see women accusing men of structural oppression while simultaneously demanding exclusive privileges, and we see men responding with a silent, increasingly widespread retreat. Emotional, economic, and even familial. The phenomenon is global. Men are leaving the game. And what's striking is that both in Asia...
Again, guys, it's not just us in the West. You notice it's happening in a lot of the more developed nations in the
Well,
East.
basically exactly what I said before. Alright, so I'm going to post that. And the mother of all fucking situations.
For 1 year, you're not in love with him, he's not in
She's
love with
fucking
you.
hot.
And you also...
Alright, I'm going to post this so you can watch it in your own time, at your own leisure.
He and I met in
The
college.
friend-
He was
friend
trying
zone.
to get me to give him a chance all throughout college, and I kept saying no. But last night when he was giving his speech as the best man, I was feeling so nostalgic, and I was kind of feeling a little bit of regret. I was like, you know, I kind of have this feeling that he was the one that got away.
That's all. That's all. I'm going to post that anyway. Alright, then what we got? Alright. The standard fucking rent increase situation is happening, which is fucked
Extortion
up.
dressed up as market adjustment, and it's happening everywhere, from Sydney to Perth, from single mums to full-time workers. People who are barely holding on are now being shoved off the edge, not because they failed, but because the system decided they were profitable. Australia's renters are being ambushed by landlords who know they can get away with it, by a government that refuses to cap greed, by a housing market that treats shelter like a stock portfolio. And while wages crawl, rent sprints. While politicians talk, families pack. While the media debates, people sleep in cars. This isn't just a rent increase, it's a trap snapping shut. On the working class, on the middle class, on anyone who thought stability was still possible. And now, the message is clear. If you rent in Australia, you don't own your future. You lease it.
Fuck, man. That's pretty fucking full on. What else? Alright. I'll leave that for another time. The youth crackdown, they're cracking down on youth. Obviously,
A chronic youth crime epidemic. At times, it might look like police are fighting a losing battle, but there's no way they're throwing in the towel. Tonight, we join them on the road as they crack down on those causing the fear and anguish.
It's a long pruning knife, so it's similar to a machete.
Here we go.
That's the police vehicle there.
Midnight at Dandenong Police Station in Melbourne's southeastern suburbs and a chase is unfolding.
Stock 6 have been deployed, the tire deflation devices.
The cops are copping it hard. They're fucking copping it hard. You should see some of the footage of, just in here.
A chronic youth crime epidemic. Hello, I'm Ali Langton. Welcome.
No, it was another
To a current affair. Coming to
Anyway, bottom line. This is pretty fucking full on. So I'll post this shit anyway. Now, so you guys can review on leisure, because I want you to be leisureless. No, leisure more, fucking, not less. But bottom line, that's the only win. That's the only way you win as a guy. As the man, that's the only way you're going to win. Yeah? Don't engage. Don't engage. Yeah? You can't argue with somebody that's not going to be logical. Simple. There's no use in there trying to full descriptions, this, that, using logic, blah, blah. Quiet. Say, I don't know what you've done. You fucking pissed me off. That's it. Work it out. Just go quiet. Then they know they're in the wrong, so the first thing they try to do is go to a reset or sweep it under the rug or something like that. If you see this behaviour, don't say, listen, I don't like it. Did something happen? You're not acknowledging it. That's fine. I'll give you some time. They start gaslighting you, carrying on, blah, blah. Block them. Just fucking block them. I'm not saying don't respect people's boundaries. If somebody says, listen, you posted you called me darling on my Facebook, I don't mind you calling me darling when we're on Messenger, but on my feed, don't call me darling because people might get the wrong impression. Okay, no problem. I won't call you darling because I understand you don't want somebody to have a viewpoint. So I'm going to respect your boundaries, yeah. But at the same time, if somebody doesn't respect your boundaries as a person, I respect other people's boundaries. I expect other people to respect my boundaries. Like, say this borderline friend, she gives me shits. She came over a couple of weeks ago. She's smoking a vape that smells like apple, but she must be running like to the end because it smells burning. It smells like a cigarette. Yeah, and I don't like the smell of the cigarette. She blew in my direction. I told her, listen, I don't like the smell of that. Don't blow it in my face. Don't blow it in my direction again. She goes, okay. Anyway, the other day she comes over. I was doing some maintenance stuff on my motorbike and charging the battery in the container, checking the container, this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's standard Sunday type of stuff, but I was doing it on Monday. Anyway, she came over and she started talking, and what was it, Monday, I think, or no, it wasn't Monday, it could have been Monday. Yeah, I think it was Monday. Anyway, it was a fucking hot day. Either way, it was fucking hot. It was about fucking 27 degrees or some shit, or it was fucking hot. And she's got an ass that's about 2 meters long, about 1.5 meters wide, like height, and about a meter girth. Like she's got fat ass. Let's be honest about it. Her ass is fat. And we're not talking about Latino nice ass or Afro nice ass, like the fat ass. No, doing fast. Yeah, and I'm sitting here like this, and we're talking, I'm vaping, I'm drinking water, I'm fucking going through my phone, looking up certain things. And I told her I was going to be busy. I told her I'm going to be busy because I'm going to do all these update things. She's like, alright. Anyway. So she's got a fat ass, man. We're talking big ass. Anyway. And she's elaborating how she's got a G-string on. Now, all of a sudden, I was about to upchuck. Yeah? But, like, I rolled my eyes back. But I was, like, looking in that direction. I didn't know she was going to catch me rolling my eyes back. It was just like an instantaneous reaction. Like, my bad. You know, like, fuck, man. Like, but in my brain, I'm thinking to myself, this bitch gotta have some fatty fungus happening. She gotta have the fatty fungus. She gotta have the sticky leg happening. You gotta have a fast like that in this fucking weather, hot as a motherfucker, and fucking have a G-string going backwards, forwards, sideways, in, out, backwards, you know, fuck. She's gotta have some venereal disease happening at this point. Now, let's be honest. She's gotta have one little bit something, fungus problem. I'm thinking to myself. Straight away, I'm thinking bacterial fungal disease fucking outbreak. Hard, stinky, pushy. Straight out the bat. You know she got a stank pussy. Anyway, then she sees me roll my eyes back, and I was trying to say, she's looking there like final attempt to try to fucking sweep it under the rug. Yeah? So after about half a minute or something, she was sitting here, she puts her face in my direction, and she blows the smoke straight in my face. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Did I tell you don't blow that shit in my face? Like, I've got a camera right there. Like, there's literally a fucking camera right there, recording, that I can bring up the footage any time and post it, if people want to say I'm full of shit. Right. Now, I think to myself, I just went quite up there, I just fucking kept doing my thing on the phone. And then a couple minutes after that, she's like, I'm going to go. Thank God for that, she's gone. I let her out. I continued doing my day. And then I started thinking about the semantics thing. I'm thinking, fuck, man. When somebody does something to somebody that they specifically said don't do, that's basically considered SA, sexual assault. Why? Because that's how rapists think. They do things to people that they know the person doesn't like over and over again. So, if you got that sort of mentality, there's something severely fucking wrong with you, yeah? Where, now I started to break it down, break it down. I break it down. I'm thinking to myself, why would she do that? And then I said, alright, it happened straight after I almost upchucked and I rolled my eyes back. So what's going on? Now I know this person doesn't, I know her better than her. I started thinking to myself, primarily, she can't stand it when she doesn't get what she wants. In other words, she goes into a fit of fucking rage if she doesn't get what she wants. So I applied it to knowing that about her, to this scenario. I thought, hold on, she told me about the G-string thing. I almost upchucked. What was she trying to do by telling me about the Hestokofta, I'll call them, the shit cutters? She wanted validation from me. She didn't get the validation, so she went into a fit of rage. And what she always does, something to somebody that she knows that person doesn't like. And she'll keep doing it. Why? Because she thinks I'm a rapist. Her inferiority complex started spinning fucking degenerately, like it does, and she had to do something to somebody that she knew that person didn't like, so she can make herself feel better about her inferiority complex. That's shitting hard. Yeah? Bottom line. That's what people do when some sick-minded people do. When they know they're not getting the validation they want, they're not getting the reaction they want, blah, 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 they'll start doing to you something that they know you don't like. Or they think you don't like it because they got rapist mentality. Why do they have that rapist mentality? Usually, it's got the baseline factor is inferiority complex. 98% of rapists out there, pedophiles, men rapists, women rapists, whatever, 98% or something. Don't quote me on the exact number. I think it's 98% of them have massive inferiority complexes. Let's say that they try to do the jiggy with a woman, but they misfire straight off the bat. So what do? They become abusive to women and start doing sicko acts to them. Yeah. But let's say a certain type of woman rejected a man. But you got a blondie, sexy body, slap that ass, and I'll point that ass, and then lick that ass, and kiss that ass, slap that ass. And one of them chicks, you know, like, and goes, and she said, oh, fuck off, you get. And now I've got a complex in my head. Yeah, for instance, I'm just role playing. I've got the complex in my head. I'm thinking, hey, I'm gonna go do fucked up shit to blonde, big titty, nice, juicy, ass. I wanna lick it, then bite it, then slap it, and tickle it. I mean, sorry. Yeah, but like that because that chick triggered off an inferiority complex in the guy's head. Yeah. So, personally, I don't know how that works because the way I view it is, there's fish in the sea. You're a fisherman. You don't catch. Oh, you move on. So, you're going to, no matter who you are, you can look like fucking Van Diesel and fucking, you're going to get a rejection from a woman. Let's be honest. Yeah? You're going to get, I highly doubt he gets very much rejections, but fucking, I'm assuming the guy's fucking been rejected. Everyone's been rejected as a male from a woman. That's how it is. But some people, they develop inferiority complexes about this. So they target the woman's appearance that drove that inferiority complex. See what I'm saying? So, it's always that inferiority complex, or like, I don't know the exact statistics, the high rate is like 98, 95%, something like that. That somebody that does these abusive acts on somebody has a massive inferiority complex that's fucking degenerately spinning hard. And it's been started off small and just kept on spinning. And that's why they're acting like the fucking dumb cunts that they are. You see what I'm saying? It's always that inferiority complex. Now this person, I'm not even calling her a lady because she wasn't acting like one. She was here. She was looking for the validation. I didn't give her the validation. I triggered her to do something to me that she knew I didn't like because she gets off on. Because her inferiority complex is spinning degenerately. Why? Because she didn't get what she wanted. And she goes into a fear rage where she doesn't. See what I'm saying? So the first initial instinct is to break that boundary. That boundary that I said, don't blow that smoke this way. That's how it is. Now, if you've got these sorts of problems, like I notice a lot of times these player haters that I come across, I'll be walking past them and they'll stand there smirking at me, looking at me, or saying things under their breath. Why are they doing that? Because they've got inferiority complexes. So they think like rapists. You see what I'm saying? Anyone that has an inferiority complex will do something to you that they know that you don't like because it makes them feel elevated, makes them feel like they're capable of doing something to you. You see what I'm saying? I've broken it down. Sort of like white supremacists. Yeah? They target, 50 of them get together and target one Afro man and do horrific things to him. Why? Because that brother man puts them in an inferiority complex. That's why they say that white supremacists is that. They say this shit because they have to put themselves on a pedestal effect while everybody's on ground level. They've got to sit up top on a pedestal to remedy their inferiority complex, they're speaking degenerately. You see? That's why they do what they do. And then you'll see a lot of these people, they actually have rapist mindsets too. They're either pedophiles or they rape women, or it's the mindset that they have. Or they rape another man, or that's their mindset. That's why you see a lot of they're either white supremacist types. They're always most of the times they're pedos or rape women, and it all boils down to they're scared. That fear puts them into the inferiority complex, and that inferiority complex triggers everything else off. You see what I'm saying? So these guys they're scared of the brother man because the brothers are usually more masculine, have bigger dicks. Let's be honest about it. Some of them got size 17 fucking shoes. I top out at size 12. Yeah? Some of these guys have got fucking size 17 fucking shoes, and they just clicked into 15 years old. Like fuck, it's a bit hard to keep up to a brother like that. You know what I mean? Personally, from my understanding, it's only good for show, but people, they get into fucking massive inferiority complexes. So some of the brothers outrun them, more agile, more this, more that, more energetic, more blah, 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 blah. It's the genetics. Simple. So, if you can't be happy within yourself who you are, and you can't come to the realization, it doesn't matter how strong you are, you're going to be somebody stronger. Doesn't matter how fast you are, you're going to be somebody faster. No matter how hard you are, there's going to be somebody harder. No matter whatever you're going to do, there's going to be somebody that's going to do it better than you. Simple. Now, if you can't come to that realization, usually you start this inferiority complex, starting to speak, and that's why you act like a bunch of fucking dumb-cows, whoever does that. You know? Basically, you're a fucking parasite from that point on. So, always respect people's boundaries. If they don't respect yours, you might have a word, but they just put distance. Distance and quiet is the best solution to most things. Yeah. Now, if you give it a bit of time and their solution is to gaslight you or carry on and go back into combat, argumentative mode, address it quickly. If there's no change in path, distance again. Distance and quiet. That's the only solution. You know what? You can't talk sense to somebody that's delusional. Bottom line, you can't get your message through if somebody doesn't want to listen. So there's no use fucking talking. Just conserve your fucking energy and carry on with your day. Alright, so I'm going to post these videos and so you guys can review it in your own time, in your own leisure, this, that. But that's my take on it. If you get put in the situation, just zip it. Just fucking zip it. The smart women, they're going to work it out soon enough and call you back and say, you know what? You got a point. They're never going to say you're fucking right. Let's be honest about it. I've never come across a woman on the regular in my life, or I've heard it probably maybe 5 times in my fucking life. You're right. And I think maybe they had a little bit too much blah 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 or some shit, or maybe their fucking compass went out or something. The biology compass went out. Because like I've been fucking right a shitload of times, and I've only heard maybe max 5 times in my life, and I'm like 47 years old or some shit. So it goes totally against their biology to admit when a man's right. So if they say something like, I never thought of it like that, just fucking take it there, shut the fuck up, you're right. That's it, just shut up. But don't even try anything else. It goes against their DNA, their chromosomes will just fucking shut down or something. You know what I mean? So don't even fucking bother, you know what I mean? Just take it as a badge of honor. They say, jeez, I could have thought of it that way, but I didn't. You just shut the fuck up at that point as a man. Just shut the fuck up. Yeah? If they carry on, you make your opinion, but I don't want to listen, just shut the fuck up. The best thing you can do is just shut the fuck up. Now the good ones, they'll go away and say, he got rather quiet after I said something fucking stupid. Oh, yes. If I think about it, that was pretty fucking stupid. So I gotta ring him up. He said, hey, what are you on now? You know, woman's like, hey. Yeah. Well, yeah, kind of a bit of a point. What do you think? He's saying, what? Failure. Oh, yeah, did I? Oh, okay. Oh, what was that point? Oh, I thought about it. Oh, yeah, really, did you? What did you think about something? Yeah, there'll be something too. That's it. You know, she's already processed it. You're not going to have the same problem with her again. Yeah. We'll come over, let's have sex. Okay. Beautiful. You know what I mean? Fucking, that's the solution. And the solution, as I said, they want to be stronger than the women. That's beautiful. I always say to guys, as long as the lady's got like a fallout place, like the relationship's not working, she can go back to her parents, she's got a room set up, or she's got her own unit or her own house. You know, spend time together. Like even if majority of the time you're together, each other needs to have a bit of a break, let her go do her thing, open up her apartment, check everything's running, air out the place, you know, this, that, then come back. You know, like, fuck. Or you go stay there for a couple of days or so. That way, it eliminates all legal lock-ins. And if it's not working, hey, there's a door, you know, like, you want the door, take the door. I'm not going to hold you against your will. You know, things, shit happens. You know, you're not feeling it. See you later. That's all. It's the only way to do it in this day and age. You know what I mean? Like, being married is oppressive. You're hearing that that's what I don't want to be oppressed either. Fuck. If it's oppressive for you, it's oppression for me too. You have your place, I have my place. I'm not oppressionist for you, you're not oppressionist for me, there's no oppressions happening. I don't want to be oppressive. You want to bang? No, I want to be respectful of women. You know, like, I'm going to post this so you understand what I'm saying. I guess. So you can go through it and understand the feminist bullshit stories. Hey, you want that shit? No problem. We'll go to the goose, guys for the gander. They're going to retaliation. That's what you want, that's what you want, beautiful. Done. Don't want to be disrespectful, don't want to be blah blah blah. That's what you want, that's what you want. No worries. That's all. Not locking contracts, mate. This one prepaid everything from prepaid situations. Don't worry about locking contract situations. Prepaid fucking for everything. That's all. Appreciate you guys watching. Hey Paul, how you going? Appreciate you guys.